It is time, folks. All right. Welcome back to another Ryer stream. Happy Pride. It is June 1st today. Hope everyone's having a lovely Wednesday. So, Raging Loop. We're back. Raging Loop Part 7. Hey, Koyo. Welcome, welcome. We are just about to get started. Raging Loop Part 7. Before I get into Raging Loop and all the spoilers and all that, just a shout out to my schedule in case you haven't seen it yet this week. So today is Wednesday. That's where we are right now, Raging Loop. Tomorrow, no stream. I am offline. I have a work function that I have to attend, which is not going to be very fun, but I'll make the best of it. Friday, I'm playing in Serena Penguina's Melty Blood type Lumina tournament. She's actually playing Melty Blood type Lumina right now in an open lobby to get ready for it. So definitely something worth checking out. If she's still live when we finish, I will raid that channel. Saturday is Spotlights On. It's a Bluu tournament organizer tournament. I'm going to be playing my Carl in that. I practiced for that yesterday. Those VODs will be going live on YouTube tonight. And then Sunday, I'm going to play some kind of fighting game. Maybe Uni, probably Uni, maybe Strive. It's going to be Uni or Strive. So definitely look out for that. All right, so we're talking Raging Loop. Very quick recap for those of you who are not well-versed in Raging Loop. I don't think that's anyone here right now, but in case you are, this is full-blown spoilers. So now is your chance to back out, or if you're watching the YouTube video, this is your chance to back out. I don't know why you would click Part 7 before clicking parts 1 through 6, but you know, if you accidentally thought that 7 was a 1, we are not starting. We are deep in the game. So there's your spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. All right. So recapping from last time, we have fully looped around once, losing Chemi and everyone in the process. The Wolves won. Now we're on our second loop. We're using new information. And also what we remember from the first loop to try to improve. Nobody died night 1 of the feast outside of the big guy, the big reporter guy. I don't remember his name right now. It's escaping me. So he died because he had to go use the bathroom because of the corruption. So we have a route where we can save him eventually. We went through a whole day. We learned that Yasunaga and not Yasunaga, Yasunaga, Uribe, the elder Uribe child, and Kanzo are the monkeys, or so they say, but nobody's disproven them. We learned that we are the snake, and we are checking out Mudo tonight. We will get an answer because we nobody died, so we will know who Mudo is. And now it's going to get tricky, right? Because now we might be on the chopping block with nobody dying. There was some sentiment that we should be killed. There was some sentiment that the reporter girl Mamiya should be killed. People are gunning for Rikako Uematsu because they don't like her, which is dumb, but whatever. And then I think I discussed this with a few people either offline or otherwise. Yeah, so we got super tilted because Kanzo was upset or was dumb. I think he's playing dumb. Oops. So he's a monkey, right? But he's also somebody who takes the lead and is a potential threat to the wolves. So if he just plays dumb and makes it such that maybe I think he lived through a loop, or not through a loop, a feast. I think he lived through a feast. And so if he knows how this works, he knows the people who talk out and are smart get bopped. So I think he's faking. I know I talked to Aura Dude about it at Combo Breaker, but I don't know if I talked to anyone else about it. So I think that's part of it. I think he's just playing dumb. Yeah, but he kind of has to be the monkey. He has to be the monkey unless both of the monkeys. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean last time? Yeah. Taiba should have lived through one as well. No, she was out of town. I believe she was the person who was out of town when the last one happened, because that was a thing. So, hold on, my eyebrows are all. There we go. Yeah, it was her who was out of town. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are now. But, yeah, I think let's just get over to it. I kind of can't wait to start. Game. And because I was playing Bluu yesterday, I just got to swap this over real quick. Yeah, it was Kanzo, and then like, what's his name? Muto. Muto might have been in it. I don't know if he was actually there. All right, here we go. Man, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay. Ooh. Let's load. All right. Yasunaga-kun made a vague smile. It seemed like he was afraid to kill the good vibes here. Kanzo-shi, however, was probably just holding back from doing that. Kinosuke-shi looked like he was on the verge of killing the mood with some of his pessimism. I'm so glad. Oh, the game's muted, sorry. Got it. I'm so glad that you are all well. Yes, what a blessing. However, he held his tongue, probably out of consideration for Tai-san and Rikako-san, who were crying in relief. Oi. What? Yoshitsugu-kun, who was washing the dishes with me, called to me with a stern voice. What the hell? Nothing happened. What do you mean, nothing? We have something pretty amazing going on here. Huh? You'll know more during the feast. That's got soap all over it. Redo that one. Hey, shut up. Yoshi-kun's helping out? I haven't seen this in years. Hey, you shut up too. And don't cheer me on when you traced on a plate with your finger. Knock it off. Oh, you noticed? I used my lips though, not my finger. It's a chance for an indirect kiss. Yuck. Hey, that's so mean. Chene, I'm put off too. What did they teach you while you were away? I thought that one up myself. Chene, you really are indecent. What the hell are you doing, Kamoshida? Helping. Thank you. La, la, la. Don't clear the plates with your tongue, damn it. Ho ho ho, me too. Stop, please. There is zero demand for that. The dining hall sure was noisy. Haruchan even screamed a little. I'll look around again. With those words, Kanzo-san left. And so, we ended up spending an uneventful morning in the dining hall together. I wasn't the only one absent-mindedly watching the clock. I wondered if she'd seen anything on her stomach when she checked. Felt like she was waiting for the feast to start, which made it seem like she had something to declare. And before she's a monkey. When Kanzo-san returned and declared the start of the feast, I felt like there would be trouble. No one was against it when he said it, but it turned out that the trouble was just delayed. Don't you think it's enough, old man? Takumi-san said that instead of drinking from his cup. What? Why keep this up? The wolves don't want to kill the humans. Brother, hold on. Why would you just say something like that? I love it. I love that you get just as tilted as I do. It's so funny to me. Of course he would be the one to suggest that. Just how naive are you? You don't understand the situation at all. Now, to be fair, the wolves not making a kill tonight, it either means the spider, like, RNG'd, or the wolves are really bad. What are you getting at? No one died simply because the wolves went for the one who was protected by the spider. He says that really confidently, too. Oh, maybe they even have to kill. So it guaranteed it was the spider then. No, Captain, nobody died night 1. That was exactly it. Yasunaga-kun, Haruchan, and even Tai-chan had turned hostile last time. It was best to assume that those with the wolf's blessing would accept it and begin the murders. Yep. What's up, Sir B? Bay? I'm gonna say B. You do have to remember from their point of view, the wolves haven't killed anyone. Well, maybe, but like, I think what Nosato-san here is saying is more accurate. I think Nosato is a wolf who tried to kill who was protected by the spider. I think Nosato is a wolf. Muro might just be a brick wall. I believe we should be thankful for our good fortune and continue using the feast to dispose of the wolves. Like, he's got to be a wolf, right? So you think the chance that the wolf refused their jobs is lower than 7%? What is he, a math genius now too? Oh, you've seen my YouTube videos? Oh my god, thank you. That's awesome. I mean, I see a couple of views on there. I'm so glad you watched it. Welcome. Yeah, glad to have you here. So you think the chance that the wolves refuse their job is lower than 7%? Is that really? Are there 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so that's like a 1 in 14 is like 7%. Indeed. I believe it to be 0%. Yeah, right. You really do know something, don't you? What's going on here? Well, I don't know. Why are you so certain? I merely believe we should be realistic about our situation. Yeah, spider can't protect themselves, so 1 in 14. Listen, humans are generally, well, yeah, it would technically be 1 in 12. So his whatever, yeah, it's yeah, I think Nosato is the spider or the wolf. It was a real way. I can see why someone who doesn't know about the previous timeline doesn't want to kill over what seems like superstitions. Perhaps. Yeah, and I guess you could pick a wolf to... You could, yeah, the spider could pick a wolf to save on accident. So you believe the humans are intrinsically good? I don't know much about this stuff, but peace is kept up because it's dangerous to ruin it. As long as it's protected, most people are safe. You know how no one got hanged yesterday? We had wolves with us, right? How did it turn out that way? You're being too optimistic. We simply failed to get the correct distribution of votes. This guy is... I should have checked him out. But I guess this exchange would happen no matter what. They probably split up the vote to protect you. Everyone stared at Mochi in surprise. What do you mean? Well, no one voted for Uncle after Yasun. Mommy Mommy. Sorry. Mommy Kaori and I, right? He needed just one more vote, but I don't get it. That makes it seem like the wolves protected one of their own. So there are wolves among those that came after? Wait, are you saying I'm a wolf? Yeah, I mean, Mochi's a god, right? I just wanted to mess with Uncle. Sorry. Mochi had reached the same conclusion I had. I couldn't tell if he was that sharp, or it was just so simple that anyone could figure it out. I'd appreciate it if you didn't take Chikamochi's casual remark seriously, but that was a possibility. We can't be too optimistic. So, what? You're gonna hang someone even though no one died? Someone has already died. Mamiya-san sudden shouts attracted everyone's attention. Protect Mochi at all costs? I was already intending to. Unless he's a wolf. But I think I had a town read on him last time. Or what? Hashimoto-san wasn't a person to you? Fat shaming? Shut up. What happened to him is horrible, but it's not like that was done by one of us. Chikomochi would probably be second scariest wolf next to Yasunaga. That's my hot take. Yeah, he made the well, honestly, if Nosato is a wolf, so this is a conditional, but if Nosato is a wolf and is gonna die, the wolves do want to tie the vote. That's what they were just saying. So like, we know we're not a wolf. We don't know anyone else who voted past, but making it a tie, he was the tiebreaker. He was the tiebreaker. He could have killed you for free. No, he wasn't the... Oh, he was the tiebreaker in the second round of votes, huh? Okay. Never mind. Because the wolves killing and the corruptions are two different things. No kill is good for the wolf because it prevents the crow from checking. True. That's true. I do think, though, thinning numbers is always good for wolves. Like, that small bit of information, eventually that compounds to be more worth it than, like, a skip vote. But I think early, maybe not. Hard to say. Takumi-ni-chan, can I have a moment? What is it? I don't want to kill anyone, but I am a bit worried. If we're to follow Shinai-sama's rules, the only way for us to fight the wolves is to hang them in the feast. I'm worried that throwing that away would mean the death of us all. Hey, I just... That's why people might start to think that anyone suggesting to throw this method away is actually a wolf. Takumi-san looked around and noticed the chill in the air about them. He noticed that a certain worry had begun mixing in with certain suspicion. Kanzoji-chan. We're hanging someone today. Oh, it's his favorite part. Refuse that, and you're a friend to the wolves. I don't want to kill anyone either. Soft, but not as soft as Takumi. See what I had in mind? Then what are we supposed to do? We didn't decide who to hang yesterday. You think that's gonna change? I don't think we reveal that we're the snake. I want to get one more safe-ish read. The only way I'll reveal if we're the snake is if I get cornered and they're gonna hang me and I'll say I'm the snake. That's the only way. Yeah, like, unless I'm dead otherwise. Not everything's the same. The outsider lady and the lunatic have probably got something to say. That's true. Let's hear them out. And if everyone is against killing in spite of what they say, there'd be nothing left to do right now, right? Kanzo-san? That ain't happening. Alright, speak up, you two. We won't get anywhere otherwise. Alright, I'll start. I am the snake. Hello? No. No, what? Huh? Really? You looked and you saw the mark? Oh, she's going... Yeah, let's kill her now. Yeah, a little bit of badger in here, if I do say so myself. Two snakes? No shot, bucko. Yes, I am. That's why I used my power to look into someone. Here, in before Fusaishi is a wolf. There was no way. But isn't that dangerous to reveal now? The snake is extremely important. I'm saying that I found out something to make up for that. Tai Yamawaki is a wolf. We can't call her out, but she might be stupid enough to not know what the marks mean. Oh yeah, so she got like a different... But she's saying she went full... She investigated. She said, I used my powers. The mood of the feast suddenly did a complete 180. She's a wolf. Liar, you're the wolf here. They screamed and were about to charge at each other. The others had to hold them back. This is the biggest gamble in the world, and it's like, it's not even good. Like, cause she's gotta be the badger. And what's gonna happen, oh, I'm frustrated. What's gonna happen is they're gonna kill her. We're gonna kill her, and they're gonna say she was a human. And then it's gonna make you look bad. Machan, stop. No one's suspecting you. Mamiya-san, stop. This won't help anyone. There's no reason to kill Tai, though. A strange fervor filled the small hall. There is a reason to hide that we're the snake and investigate. No need to even investigate Tai. Yeah, never mind. It's fine, it's fine. I was getting really uncomfortable. No, we're not doing the Among Us yet, Captain. We're not gonna hang everyone who's sus or responds to being sus. Do we have any others claiming to be the snake? Hello? Why would you do that? That's very wolf-like. Hold the phone. That's very wolf-like. What is that supposed to mean? She is so bad at this game. Oh my god. Bronze tier Among Us player. There's reasons to investigate Tai, but this isn't a reason to investigate Tai. Yeah, he's monkey, I know, but he's the wolfiest monkey I've ever seen. Please don't shout. If you really are the snake, then please keep your cool. The lack of another snake is one of the conditions for us to believe you are the real one. Again, do we have any other snakes? Yes, we figured out about the badger. Humans are a resource? Savage. Do we reveal here? So, again, this is kind of the exact play. If we reveal here... Wait, oh god, they're making me choose? Since I was the real snake, she was definitely a fake who was clearly talking with ill intent. But if we reveal here, the wolf is killing us tonight. Like, we're going to hang her. It's a 50-50. Where they're going to hang her and kill me tonight, or they're going to hang me and kill her tonight if I reveal. I think I don't reveal. That meant I had to out myself. Otherwise, she would take control of the situation. Well, Spider would cover you, or Spider would cover her if I get hanged. Yeah, because one of us is getting hanged here if I reveal. That was the right thing to do. The right way to go about it. I know that well. But I couldn't help but feel that it was an extremely difficult situation here. You can confirm your snakeness unless Muro is a wolf. You think Jerkface will cover us? Well, man. She also has priority. She revealed first. What do we do in chat? Can a mod make a poll? Can a mod make like a 1 minute or like 30-second poll? Let's see what we're doing here. I actually don't know. I think I don't reveal. Is it hang them both, Captain? Oh, man. Reveal? Oh, God. Don't reveal. Hang Granny. Crow checks. Don't reveal. Hang Tai. Ooh, that's a play. See, Granny isn't wolf. Girl's fake. Ooh. I kind of like Cap's strategy here. Oh my god, but we are just... The votes are not with us on the Captain Red Beef plan. I'd like to do Aura's... No, as you know, Aura, at the feast, there is no re-voting. Even if literally new information that is factual is brought up. There is no re-voting. Okay, I guess we're revealing. Smash that OS on wake up. Reveal. She's not a wolf. Wolf doing this is way too risky for Wolf. And it's not risky for Badger. Yeah, I think we all think Mamiya is the Badger. Okay, now it wasn't really time to rely on baseless intuition. If I kept my silence now and tried to come out as a snake later, I couldn't expect my words to hold much weight. It was okay, given the situation. I was sure I could get people to believe in me over Mamiya-san. Sumimasen. At that moment, I became the target of everyone's attention. I felt like they were boring holes into me. I am the snake. What? So now Fusaishi-san has declared himself to be the snake. Is anyone else a snake? Do you really think a third person would step up here? Honestly, no, but better safe than sorry. Anyone else? As expected, no one stepped up. Oh, you're a wolf, aren't you? Can't you all tell? Now a second wolf has revealed themselves. Mamiya-san's outburst was also expected. That's true, Badger can just, like, break the rules. She spent some time ranting afterwards, but piped down after Kanzo-san told her to shut her mouth. Is it safe to assume that one of them is telling the truth? I believe so. Incidentally, who did you investigate with the power of the snake? Fusaishi-san? Takumi-san. He's human? So he's just dumb. Yeah, that's right. I'm human. Still, that isn't enough to prove he's innocent. If he were a wolf, he'd just tell the truth. Well, yeah, but the reception of my claim was rather dicey. I did the wrong voice for Chiemi, sorry. There were those who believed me and those who doubted me from the start, and still did. It didn't feel like I'd changed anyone's minds. What are we supposed to do? Now's not the time for pessimism. We still have enough to go off of to make a decision. So, for the time being, one of the choices from last night has to be a wolf? Not necessarily. They may actually all be humans. And this happens no matter who you choose, because something tells me the choices don't matter a shit ton in this game. We hang the reporter, then the city boy, and then Tai. This guy is playing nightmare mode Among Us. Hey, Whooper. Yeah, this is a visual novel. We are very deep into it, so if you don't care about spoilers, hang around. If you do, you can catch up on YouTube. Oh, Kanzo figured it out? Wait, what? A dumbfounded silence dominated the hall for a few seconds as everyone struggled to process what he'd said. Yeah, exclamation point YouTube in the chat. Old man, what are you thinking? Two of these people are to Haru's right. Just hang them all. True. Wolves must be hanged. Hold on a minute. Evidence aside, it's obvious who the most suspicious one here is, right? You'll get offed if you try to judge this with your nature. He wasn't exactly wrong. On the other hand, my nature was suspicious, so it felt there was a strong, unbiased doubt towards me. It wasn't fair to base it on double standards, but the people of Yasumizu would just look at me the same way as Mamiya-san if I complained about that. Let me ask you something, Kanzo Makishima-san. Your logic is based around hanging anyone suspicious, not simply hanging those who claim to have a guardian, correct? Otherwise, no one else would dare claim to have a guardian after this. If they could prove themselves clean, there wouldn't be a need to hang them, right? But right now... Exactly, right now. I believe all of us are suspicious, so you shouldn't be jumping to hang the three of us all just yet. I agree. I believe the Fusaishi-san and Mamiya-san should try using their guardians again and again. Yasunaga-kun sure was reliable. He jumped to the conclusion I was going to make ahead of time, and told everyone, increasing its credibility more than I could have. Kanzo-san didn't look satisfied, but it didn't seem he could find solid grounds to argue. So, what are we supposed to do, Aniki? Should we vote for the old hag? Quite the opposite. At any rate, since we'll put Fusaishi-san and Mamiya-san aside for now, we'll have to vote for someone else. Someone? I believe we should all decide on one of the investigation targets. I consider that too, but I believe voting for someone else has more merit. I see. So you're saying we should take a vote based on everyone's logic, and not a vote based on people who may be covering for one another. Exactly. I'll put it another way so the rest of you understand easier. The rest of you Pepegas understand easier. Starting tomorrow, Fusaishi-san and Mamiya-san will investigate their own targets and announce the results. Eventually, they shall reach a mutually contradictory outcome. When that time comes, we can decide which one of them to hang. Yeah, true. For example, if Taiba really is human, she knows that Mamiya-san is lying, and thus will know she's right to vote for her. That's right, I know. But even if Taiba is a wolf, Mamiya-san has already gone out of her way to become her enemy, so Taiba will have to vote against her regardless. That way, Mamiya-san... See, yeah, Yasunaga's chatting right now. Yeah, they should say investigate a single person, and then simultaneously announce your result. Yeah. That way Mamiya-san can restrict her action. She won't be able to sway the humans' votes in any way. When you take that into account, Taiba's actions are already restricted, so there's no need for us to rush now. You mean it's more important to prioritize restricting more people's actions in the same way? Yes, this is Wooper. This is Among Us the VN. Right. And eventually, once we determine whether Fusaishi-san or Mamiya-san are lying, we'll review all the results up until then. And if we need to, we'll just hang them afterwards. Did any of you get that? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I got all of that. Yes. Yeah, I did. So what you're saying is to wait for more clues to come out and vote for anyone who wasn't investigated today? I'm against hanging, but if that's what you're all gonna choose, then I want to go with Yasu's plan. I agree. I believe it's best not to treat those who claim to have guardians too carelessly for now. But if we manage to eliminate a wolf early on, the rest will feel psychologically cornered and be more likely to slip up. At the very least, the fact this blockhead's complaining means this is a good idea, don't it? I wanted to point out how rude that was, but chose to keep quiet after realizing I wasn't in a position to speak my mind. What's up, Red? Oh, I'm dead? You think I'm just dead? Old man. I'm dead from Mamiya, probably. I'm dead from Mamiya Wolf-sama over here. Let's vote already. Kanza-san probably hadn't changed his mind, but the fact that he was letting the vote start meant that he wasn't denying that going with Yasunaga-kun's plan was indeed logical. He probably acknowledged that the plan made a certain amount of sense, too. He was just too proud to admit it. It wasn't just the players' power relationships and the rationality/validity of their actions that held influence here. It was also their personalities, preferences, and standing. In that respect, politics were a game, and the Feast of the Yomi Purge was politics, meaning the feast was a game of sorts. No, I thought the Badger and the Wolves did know who each other were. Well, technically the Badger awoke today, so we should be looking for someone who's acting differently today. Yeah, you shouldn't claim that someone's a wolf if you're doing this fake play. Haru didn't know who the wolves were? I thought she did. I guess I could be wrong. Anyway, I wouldn't be gathering any votes for this round, and neither would Mamiya-san. No, wait. Wasn't this bad? Yes, the chat seems to think it's bad, Fusaishi. Oh, she was just happy that it was him. Okay. Does anyone not want to vote? Takumi-san raised his own hand. Chemi hesitated but didn't go for it in the end, leaving him all alone as a no-voter. Fine, that's enough. Okay, so no vote. We'll vote who to hang starting from the head. Voting began with no regard for my concerns. You. Me again? That... Brother! I'm voting for the journal lady. Hello? Okay. As expected, he voted for the most suspicious one here. I'll vote for you. I don't know about the others, but I know for sure you're a wolf. Ah, fine. Go right ahead. Mamiya-san seemed to have regained some of her cool, though she already had 2 votes. She probably could tell she wasn't getting much more after this. I'm going with Mako again. Takumi-san, please, if you're going to vote for Mako, vote for me instead. You're fishy too, but trying to cover for her makes her even fishier. No, it doesn't. She's 5. She's 5 years old, dude. If Mako gets one more vote, perhaps it would be best to try to lead things in another direction. After all, I knew she was the only one reliable. I'll vote for Rikako-san. More prejudiced against the village heads. If this turns out to be the undoing of the people of Yasumizu, don't say I didn't warn you. Yeah, hey, you know, elephants are afraid of mice, right? It's alright, Nosato-sama. Who will you vote for? I still think Fusaishi-kun is suspicious, but it's true I want more proof first, so with that in mind, I'll vote for Chiemi Serizawa. Huh? Why me? Because you don't seem to be on anyone's side. First you say we shouldn't hang anyone, then suddenly forsake Takumi. I see your point. I was trying to do the humane thing and hesitate, but I guess everyone else already decided to kill. This is why I hate this crazy village. Chiemi's cold words filled the hall with an awkward silence. That was proof there were some people out there who knew they couldn't exactly deny what she said. But just as I was wondering how things came to this, I'm voting for Uematsu-san. As for why, it's because of the big act she put on yesterday when she asked to be voted for. I believe she was trying to copy Chiene without even thinking it through, and failed. You'd vote for her just because you found that unnatural? Kyo's low-key pretty good, I guess. Like, he's top 50 percentile. It is quite alright. No, it isn't. You should value your own life a little more, Rikako-san. Why should it matter? I am all that is left there is left of the Uematsu, and there are those who wish me dead. No one will miss me. So if I have a chance to throw my life away, I wish to take it. Wow, that was cool, Ri-chan. I could never go for that. Anyway, my turn. You're up, Uncle. Fly like a bird. What the hell is that supposed to mean? The vote was all over the place. Currently, Mamiya-san and Rikako-san were sitting at the top with 2 votes each, while Mako, Chiemi, Kinosuke, and myself each had 1. But just when it came to me, it was the youth's turn to vote. I ain't doing this because of what Kamoshida said or nothing, but I'm voting for Nosato. We don't need no village heads here. Ugh. I wouldn't go that far, but since you voted for me, I have no objections voting for you, Nosato-san. So that's my vote. Why you? I'm fine with Nosato-san too. Oh, rest in pasta, dude. I'm fine with Nosato-san too. We don't need you anymore. With the surge of 4 consecutive votes, Kinosuke had taken the lead. There were just 4 left, including me. I vote for myself. So you're sticking to that, are you? You do realize it's unlikely you'll die today. Voting downstream? True. Still, I don't believe Nosato-sama should die. Rikako-san, no, but that doesn't mean you should die in my stead. The old man. Huh? Miko, Makishima-san's not a wolf. Then, the other old man. Yeah, get his ass. Oji-chan. Haha, yeah. What was up with this vote? Kinosuke, she had 4 votes. Rikako-san had 3. My options were to either co-sign Kinosuke to his fate or throw Rikako into danger. Or vote for someone else entirely and leave Mamiya-san to deal with that dilemma. In other words, leaving it up to a confirmed liar. No, I couldn't. I was confident that I had interpreted Rikako-san's actions correctly, so I vote for Kyonosuke Nosato-san. Whoa. So he's gonna die. I'm sorry. I don't believe you're a wolf. It's just Mamiya-san was the only other one with 2 votes. Even if I voted for her, there was no way she'd vote for herself, so trying to put Kinosuke against her would be pointless. However, I knew telling him that wouldn't do him any good. I can't afford to lose Rikako-san. I know those words were probably the last thing he wanted to hear. Still, I couldn't let that excuse, that reason, go unsaid. Not when he could understand it too. I see. This made 5 votes. Morally, everyone understood that it was the humans who deserved to survive, not the wolves. But in the end, Kinosuke had been unable to prove his life held more meaning than a wolf would reveal useful information while still alive. I vote for Uematsu-san. I believe her actions are unnatural. Bring the rope. Oh, man. Okay, so thinking about this, real quick. Just thinking about this a little bit. Hold on, I got some DMs. I just gotta look at it real quick, make sure it's not something urgent. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'll deal with that later. Thank you for the follow. We are so close to 300 followers. I can't wait. Okay, so just thinking about this, I think Mamiya is a wolf. I do. And I think she is going to try to kill us tonight. Hopefully the spider protects us. If the spider does not protect us, she is going to run the rest of the game as the supposed snake. And then, hopefully like RNG luck into somebody. She's going to try to run the game as the fake snake. I think that was her plan from the beginning. But we'll see. I think if you die, they know she's not a snake. If a snake claim gets killed by the wolf, the other snake claim is lying. I guess that does make some sense in that everyone should be able to deduce that, the one who didn't die is on the wolf's side. Yeah, well, a good player would, right? We don't know if this town would. Everyone was singing the prayer to Shanai. Shanai, Sans Guardians, yada yada. I couldn't tell who started it or when they did so. The sobbing mixed with singing made it seem like an old funeral, but it was actually an execution. Trading Badger for Snake is 100% the play if you're the Badger, yeah. Painfully slowly, we walked through the path leading to the cliff next to Saranaga. It was already used. I was already used to this, thanks to all the cleanups. How did she know Tai wasn't a wolf? If she's Badger, then how does she know Tai is not a wolf? Well, I think you just point at anyone. You point at anyone and claim that they're a wolf. And then the snake will reveal themselves. Yeah. I think you could just point at anyone, and she figured Tai was an easy target. And I do think, do you say wolf or do you say human? Yeah, I guess to Red's point, you would just say wolf to just make more chaos. And then the snake reveals to counter you, and then you trade 1 for 1. Because the Badger does want to die. Like, the Badger's goal is to die so the wolves can win. And without the snake, the wolves have a huge advantage. And Mamiya, if Mamiya's the Badger, unlike Haru, who kind of knew people in the town and was, like, attached to them or whatever, she's just like, I gotta just go in and, like, I just gotta do my job. Yeah, no, I think Badger wants to die. Badger thinks they're like a deep sinner who like needs to die. Eventually we reached our destination. It was downhill, beyond the trees, wet with dew, in a grass field covered in stones marking the lives of those who used to live here. Strangely enough, the aged pine tree right at the end could be seen easily, despite the mist. As we stopped, so did the song and emotion. Nosato-sama, forgive me for my powerlessness. There's nothing to forgive. He gave me a glance. You have to protect Rikako-san. That was all he said. I understand. I didn't actually want to say that. It didn't sound like he simply meant to protect her for the rest of the feast when he said that. But The survivors had obligations to honor the dead's last wishes. Are you sure of this? Yes. To have you push my back has been a long cherished ambition of mine. Get a load of this guy. Rise not. Rise not. And then... Oh, that was a gnarly noise. Kinosuke Nosato's body fell to the bottom of the misty cliff, and the hanging rope stopped due to the fatal impact. He let out a horrifying death wail. Whoa. Afterwards, we all returned to the dining hall, where Kaori-san and I served a light lunch while time passed by. Everyone tried to act as normal as possible. They tried to convince themselves that Kinosuke shouldn't have been in Yasumizu in the first place, so his absence was only natural. However, it was clear that they felt guilty for committing murder. Yeah, we hung Kinosuke. Killing someone no one liked and talking as though none of it had ever happened was horrible group mentality, but that was the truth of the Feast of the Yomi Purge. It was kill or be killed, and unfortunately, it was next to impossible to finish the feast without wasting a life. I chatted away with the others, while those thoughts in my mind as a certain concern ate away at me. Yeah, that's so true, B. Like, me, Yasu, and Mochi are the only ones with a brain. Next to... Wait. Goal is to win without killing anyone. Alright, well, at least we get some Crow information now. As much as I felt bad about it, I didn't kill Kinosuke. Had I made the wrong move in the end? Hadn't I let someone who should have been purged live so I could save myself? No, that didn't mean this was a failure. There was a high chance my fears were unfounded. I was overthinking things. I knew I was, but for some reason, I think that's the loop condition. You are going to win the feast and loop anyways. Oh, like you'll only stop looping when you've successfully saved everyone. I feel the presence of the beasts. I couldn't help but feel that. Blame the beasts. Who knows? I'm not good at reasons, but, well, when Takumi said he was the snake, I had a bad feeling come over me. Oh, it felt like I could hear the wolves laughing. I felt like I now understood that feeling. Had I fallen right into their trap? That worrying plagued me all the way through dinner and bedtime. If Hisako Mamiya's false declaration was a suicidal attack meant to weed out the real snake, then there was a chance she'd be coming for me, despite knowing she'd be the prime suspect for sure the next day. Yeah, also that, actually, Mamiya could just come through with a fucking knife and just kill us. She doesn't have to, like, and then the wolves can kill someone else, actually. She can just go full, like, literally 1-for-1. In that case, which of the two snakes would the spider protect? Right now, there were two self-proclaimed snakes. Should I have tried to crush Hisako Mamiya, even if it meant getting a little too desperate and being suspected by the others as a result? No, it was okay. If I was right about Meiko being the spider and Rikako-san controlling her, then Rikako-san would surely protect me. If it was between Mamiya-san and I, she'd definitely choose me. Those thoughts bounced back and forth from lunch, all the way until I drowsily wrote someone's name down and put it under my pillow. And then I lost consciousness. Hello? Do I not even get to pick whose name to write down? Wait, in the end, I never woke up. Oh. We died. Guess that figures. After all, only the spider themselves knew what they were thinking. The wolves must have aimed their claws at me, taking the risk that the spider hadn't chosen me. And they'd won their bet, so that was that. Couldn't even tell if that was what I had thought when I died. It was all so vague. I lay there in a comatose slumber, and it was there my life met its end and faded into the mist that covered all. Game over. Bad ending number 13. Watch Hint Corner? No. We know why we died. I'll watch all the hint corners like at the end or something. No key? Yeah, I guess we don't get a key for that. All right, hold on. We got to go all the way back here. So we do not want to reveal the Guardian. Yeah, we didn't need a key to not reveal the Guardian. So we know this kills us. We don't reveal. Okay, roll it back. I didn't find it reasonable whatsoever, but I decided to keep quiet. Then let us continue under the assumption that Hisako Mamiya-san is the real snake. What do you mean, assumption? If there is a reason to doubt you, it would be, as Chiene pointed out, your belligerence. You were so calm all this time. What happened? Revealing is fine if town isn't morons. Well, maybe they protected Mamiya. Maybe they protected Mamiya. Whoever the spider is. Maybe the spider's like not Mako. So, you know, you lost the 25%er. How can I stay calm in a situation like this? I woke up to blood text on my stomach. It's such a supernatural phenomenon. And now I used it to find out that one of us here is acting all innocent. There's no way I can stay calm. You liar. This is why you youngins from the city are just... What did the others think about this exchange? Yeah, maybe the spiders thought nobody would risk that. You're saying the old hag's a wolf? Yes. How many times do I have to say it? Old hag, you better think of a good answer to this. Are you a wolf? Yoshitsugu, you fool. That's it. The young ones are all Yomibito. Oh, this is what they were afraid of, the age war. Huh? All right. That's enough. Taiba, don't say that. And Yoshikun, why are you provoking her? She voted for me yesterday and I almost died because of it. That's just shady. So if you know how Jester Badger works... Yoshitsugu, you better cut it out. And what's up with you, lady? Why are you shrieking and cornering an old woman like this? Then the one starting this way is more suspicious. True. It's like exchange of the jutsu. You don't want to cast the first spell. You wouldn't understand. Oh, this is awful. Crap. Hey, people. Cool off for a second. There's not much space here, but let's sit as far away from each other as we can and calm down. Is that alright with you, old man? Old man Makishima looked around the circle. Settle down or you're getting punched. That was enough to bring absolute silence to the room. However, that made certain negative emotions stand out. They came as throats clearing, tongue clicks, or sighs, among other things. Still, the silence helped people cool off, or, well, at least it helped me. For better or worse, I knew for certain she was a fake. And right now, I had to act accordingly. But I really don't know what that entailed. To declare that she was a fake snake, I had to declare that I was the real one. However, that meant making myself a target for the wolves. What would I do then? There would be two possible snakes, Hisako and I doubted we would be hanged right then and there. They'd probably have us investigate someone and see who was telling the truth. But I would probably be killed during that process. Oh, the Yomi team was using Mamiya-san as bait to draw out the real snake. That was the most likely scenario. Yeah, we talked about that. However, this felt kind of unnatural, though. Why did Mamiya-san claim that role? She was an outsider who had no affinity to the old stories or loyalty to this village. Drawing attention to herself like that was a dangerous move. It was even worse for her since she'd come out as the snake before anyone had died, meaning there was absolutely no chance that a real snake was out of the game. Then, perhaps it meant that... Enough. Enough talk. After 30 minutes, Kanzo-san resumed the feast. Uematsu, we're voting. Huh? Kan-chan, I'm a human. You're a wolf. So, do you hang Tai here and use the crow to see if Mamiya is telling the truth? Probably, right? You? Again? Kanzo-san, before we vote, there's something I'd like to hear. Haruaki Fusaishi-san said that he would have some new information for us. So he remembered. However, I decided to not reveal that I was the snake this time. It might have helped the humans, but I felt I had to keep it hidden to ensure my own survival. Thus, I had to think of some nonsense. We were given a lot of time though, so I already had more than enough ready. First of all, I still don't have enough information to prove my innocence, unfortunately. That means I'm less capable of contributing than Mamiya-san, and I would like to make up for that. Can I assume that means you don't have a guardian? Yeah, no, the emotional component is a real big thing, B. Like, I don't know how that factors in. Seems like the obvious assumption. Say clear. But, old man was willing to hang her third in the, whatever. I have no special powers. With these words, I was also a liar. However, if you let me live, I will do what I can to help you all. You said that yesterday. Unlike the first time, Kanzo-san seemed kind of interested in what I had to say. I wasn't lying about Kanzo wanting to kill everyone to the right of Haru. That's the people he doesn't know. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Of course, he'd probably throw me out the moment he felt I overstepped myself. I can provide you with strategic advice. Like, don't hang Tai-san or Mamiya-san. Huh? If Tai Yamawaki-san was a wolf, I doubt she is the brain behind their tactics. I said I'm no wolf. It's a what if? God. Now, if Mamiya-san isn't the snake, of course I'm the snake. No one else came out. Now, I'd like to ask something. To actively survive this game, I mean this feast, the wolves had to pretend to have guardians, right? Yes. The wolves generally stay passive and lay low to avoid raising suspicion, but that eventually tips them off to the snake. Once suspicions are raised, simply claiming to be human is no longer good enough. Declaring yourself to have a guardian at that moment would seem like a lie too, which is why doing it at a random time is far more effective. If you claim to have a guardian first, then anyone who came after would look like a liar. And what's your basis for that? I'm being objective. That's why it's not certain that you are the snake. If you really are a fake, it means the other two wolves have already cut you off. Don't just go talking off like that. What's that supposed to mean? While you're making a mess of the feast in the front lines, the other wolves are doing their work on their own. It probably wouldn't have been your idea in that case, and they're using you as a distraction to avoid drawing suspicion to themselves. That's why, if we can ignore you as you make a mess of things, it means you wouldn't be as dangerous as the wolves who are still hiding. That's nonsense. I'm the real snake. I'm a slithery snake. Hey, that kind of confirms that you're a wolf. Huh? You noticed something, Mochi? Well, look at her reaction to what you just said. She probably was irritated because she didn't understand her own position. If she wasn't a wolf, she wouldn't have paid any attention to it. I can't ignore any words in this situation, can I? What's gotten into you, Mochi? It's just a... Hold on, all my voices are crossed up. It's just a thought, but honestly, I agree with Yasun. We should keep her around and see how she works. Listen, saying that kind of stuff can place suspicion on yourself. But I'm just weird. Don't blame it on me. Try to speak for the human's sake, not just your own. I don't even know if sacking a wolf for a snake is worth it. I think it's worth it. Sacking the badger for the snake is free. Like, that's super worth it. If Mamiya-san got hanged, it'd be partially your fault. Oh no, I got scolded. Anyway, if we're not hanging Taiba-chan and Mamiya-san, are we going with Takumi-ni-chan's idea and not hanging anyone at all? Yeah, there's 3 wolves this loop. That'd be meaningless. If we didn't lower the number of suspects, it'd be a waste of a free day the spider gave us. I don't like that logic either. If hanging really is in our best interest, I'll just say one thing. I believe in Bachan. I think she wouldn't even kill, even if she became a wolf. Yeah, there are 3 this loop, Red. And a badger. Well, that just wasn't true. That's why I'll protect her. You really are a good boy. What about you, Kohori-san? You haven't said a thing this whole time. Kohori might be the spider. Oh well. And you? Old wolf guy? The wolf is coming. Forget it. Old man, what do? We we play Among Us. Take the 50-50. Huh? For a moment, we were so dumbfounded that this room was filled with utter silence. But why? The wolves gotta hang. That's not even a good reason. What's up, White Beast? Welcome, welcome. Just heads up, if you're not familiar with this game and don't want to be spoiled, we are super deep in it. $50-50 is right. It's kind of like I think you hang tie. I think you hang tie here. If you're playing Among Us, if you're playing like just game theory, you hang tie and have the crow investigate. Because she's either a wolf and you know who the snake is, or she's a human and you know that that's a fake snake. And then it gets weird because then the real snake would have to reveal himself. But by that point, you could just explain it like the ends justify the means. Like, hey, look, it worked out. So, you know, that's how I would do it. Yeah, Kanzo is mashing uppercut every wake up. We need sacrifices, to be sure. That's how it always was. He then got up, which made him seem larger than usual. You know what? I bet Kanzo lived through the last feast and realized that like sitting on your like heels doesn't get you anywhere in this. No, the real snake wouldn't have to reveal at that point. You are sacrificing the crow. I honestly don't think people should even go for the crow. Like, the crow's kind of useless outside of like these plays, which you would argue that Mamiya's just fucking up here. Yeah, crow is a pawn. Snake is like a rook, like a heavy piece. Taiba, get ready. I know you for 60 years. You love Yasumizu more than anyone else. Won't you put yourself on the line for its sake? Crow, if she wasn't a wolf, say nothing. If she wasn't a wolf, say nothing. That's... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And that's actually... That's kind of broken, B. I like that. Yeah, because then, like, I like Sir B's idea there. His voice was as blunt as always, not changing his expression at all. He pushed an old acquaintance into what could be her death. Yeah, I don't think it's high risk to out the crow, but that's an even better way to get your info, and unless Tai was the crow, in which case it still stands. That means a human died, and she wasn't a wolf. It didn't matter to him if the person was friend or family. He had his own line of thinking and clearly knew what had to be done. Friend or outsider mean nothing in the face of this situation. There was no room for hesitation nor mercy. Will you and Takumi look after my remains? And his kind of madness was shared by everyone in Yasumizu. If someone dies, then you don't know if the crow died or not. But you do know that, oh, if someone dies from the wolves, shit, that's right. I forgot about that. Ah-chan, please. I don't wanna. Takumi, I'm not a wolf. If you believe that, vote for that woman. If I still get hanged, then it must be the will of Shinai-sama. Alright, Uematsu. Hi. We vote. It's time. Yasunaga-kun was looking at the floor with a pale visage. I probably didn't look all that different from him. The silent alliance he and I had made was crushed by Kanzo-san. It was a moment of defeat for us. The old man's words quickly ended the battle between reason and tradition. Was there any way for us to resist it? Like, yesterday, the voting began with the old wolf guy. You, wolf. How? He acted the same way as before, but the one he pointed out this time wasn't me, but Tai-san. You two? You accursed. Did he even understand the situation? I'm voting for the journalist. Of course he would. Me too. For Mamiya-san? Yes! Hi. I'm voting for you, journal lady. I knew you would. The votes so far were about what you'd expect. Kaori-san, you're next. Hold on now. This is stupid. This is like really stupid. Muto outed himself in the first feast as the snake, and literally nobody turned on him. I guess he didn't get a chance. No, he died from the wolves, but like everyone just believed he was the snake. Why would you hang the person claiming to be the snake if there's no one else? Yeah, this is tilting. I hate this town. Kaori-san, you're next. Her position on all this was strange, though. She was an adult. She tended to listen to Yasunaga-kun and ask for his opinion often. Yeah, right of the group equals bad. I guess, oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely, I know you've mentioned it a couple times, but I see it like popping up more and more is late in the voting order is gotta go. I had no idea who she would vote for, but I soon found out. I never could have guessed it. One for Takumi Muro-san. What? Oh, throwaway vote, throwaway vote. She's choosing to not vote. Kaori-san, why? Some of this is too complicated for me, but I'm prepared to, if need be, suspect the one I didn't want to suspect at all. This is a no vote. That's how I'm throwing away my vote. I hope you understand that too. Yeah, that's a skip, and I respect the skip. I respect a skip here. So you don't think I'm a wolf, but you're voting for me to make me snap out of it? What? The fuck are you talking about? There's no proof that you aren't a wolf, and I don't believe you're doing what you must, Takumi-san. What are you talking about? What the hell? I don't get it. Kaori-san didn't change her vote, and Takumi-san ended up actually getting one. Watashi no turn. How complicated. Next up was Kinosuke, who had little presence today. Well, it's reasonable to hang both of them. I believe we are undervaluing the one who is claiming to be a snake. I shall vote for Muro. Yikes. I think Kinosuke is a wolf. Deadass. Deadass, I think Kinosuke is a wolf. You too? You'd be even more mad if I voted for Lady Yamawaki. Also, I changed my opinion of the newcomer a bit. Yeah, that's super sus, right? The pile-on vote. Kaori might actually have served purpose. Yes, I have nothing more to say, though. Did he realize, just like yesterday, I am voting for Nosato-san? Keeping your consistent vote from the day before is also a pretty good tactic. Granted, we know Yasunaga's safe, but like, my reason is the same as yesterday. But now, I would also like to state that I wish to see how Mamiya-san acts going forward. By the way, why did you choose Tai-san as your target? I didn't know what to do, so I just wrote whoever came to mind. So you picked Tai-ba randomly. I see. That's all from me. What is all this? I'm adding a vote to Nosato as well. Again, Chikamochi. Well, I do think that the Mamiya lady is a wolf. But if Yasun wants to see what she does, I'll play along with that. Thanks, Mochi. I'm not changing my opinion. One vote for the old hag. I hate old people. You corrupt little... My turn, huh? Sorry, Mamiya-san. I'm voting for you. Why? I'm the snake. I mean, you weren't like this yesterday. What's with the change? Wait, you might be the badger Haruaki-san talked about. Her words caused a stir, but not a big one. They didn't seem to understand the badger talk from yesterday, and it didn't stay in their minds, it seemed. Yeah, I think she's the badger. Like, I think I've got actually a decent read on the town here, for once in my pathetic life. If you are, please say so. Badgers are humans, so they don't have to die. I'm not. I'm the snake. Chimmy. Takumi-ni-chan, I'm not taking your side here. I was actually thinking about voting for Tai. Chi-chan? You too? Why? Because I can't just take sides here. You understand that too, don't you? You want to kill Mamiya-san just because you like Taiba-chan. That's not like you at all. I just hoped it would bother you the way it does the rest of us. Sorry, I'm like this. You too, Ba-chan, and Mamiya-san even. I won't blame you if you hate me. That's all from me. Yeah, trust me, I'm a snake. Next, who are you picking, Haru? Huh? I guess I'll choose Nosato-san too. Get in there. She's gonna mirror Uematsu, but she's in there. Why am I always put in danger just because of childish whims? You sure had an unfortunate role in this. Uematsu-san is next. I shall vote for Yamawaki-san. Uematsu-sama. Okay, big important point here. She didn't vote for herself. She is only voting for herself to create ties. I think she is only voting for herself to create ties or save Mako. So she's going in. We cannot undervalue claiming to be the snake. I am sorry if Mamiya-san turns out to be pretending to have a guardian. I will deliver due punishment. Very well. I understand. Mako, who will you pick? Oba-chan. Even the brat hates you. I don't care about being hated by some Saranaga child. Haruaki-sama? What was I supposed to do? Mamiya-san was tied with Tai-san at 4 votes, while Kyunosuke had 3 and Takumi-san had 2. It was Mamiya-san's turn right after mine. She'd definitely vote for Tai, meaning Tai effectively had 5 votes. So if I voted for Mamiya-san, I would bring it to a final vote, but if I voted for Tai-san, she would definitely be hanged. Were those my only choices here? Would a vote condemning someone to death really be meaningful? A vote for Kyunosuke was bound to be pointless. I couldn't use it as a message of any kind, and it wouldn't be a good way to repay him for avoiding picking me. What if I voted for that guy over there, though? Takumi. Why would I vote for Takumi? Takumi has 3 votes. So that's another throwaway. That's a throwaway, right? And we know Takumi is human. I can't vote for the old lady. Hisaka. Oh. If I vote for Takumi and so does Mamiya, that would not work for Mamiya. She's voting for Tai. So basically I vote for Mamiya and tie it 4-4 or 5-5 with Tai, or I give a third one to Takumi to make Mamiya, to see if Mamiya votes elsewhere. Right? Am I thinking about that right? Voting for Hisako is dangerous because she'll tie it with Tai and then we'll have to go through a run back. Voting for Takumi is basically a throwaway and ensuring that Tai dies. I kind of want Tai to die. I want to try to make this crow play. So I'm going to vote for Takumi, which is weird because I would probably vote not for Takumi in this situation, but I would vote for like... Well, I guess you can't throw away your vote either. You look super sus if you throw away your vote here. Voting for Hisako is dangerous. It indicates you know she's lying. People know. Yeah, Haruaki would never vote for somebody claiming to be a guardian unless he knew they were lying, right? Let's try it. I'm voting for Takumi-san. Nobody seemed to expect my declaration. The room was filled with commotion. I could hear some of them whispering. It was mostly along the lines of, "What's he thinking?" or, "I guess we know who we're hanging." This was a strange and heavy-handed way to go about this. However, I felt like I could lead to more gaining Takumi-san's favor. I had my doubts, though. It was a serious gamble. However, I also had a feeling that if I chose anything else, I wouldn't survive the night. What is this about, Fusaishi? I had to carefully phrase my response here. Settling on what words to use, I said, I want to protect you. He did show some confusion, but the more pronounced emotion by far was anger. No, so the thought here is like... No, that doesn't make sense. I was trying to think it out. I understand why you can't vote Mamiya. You could vote Tai, though. Like, they just didn't give us... I think you could vote Tai here. Like... I think you could vote Tai. That's the one option that I think makes sense here. And you could just say something like... No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because, like, if you voted Tai, you would just say something like, it was already determined. I don't think it's Nosato, and, you know, it's already determined. But voting for Takumi... Yeah, you'd have to explain that you're skipping, but why wouldn't you just skip on a random person if you're skipping? And skipping seems bad here to some extent. After all, by not voting for Mamiya-san, I just condemned Tai-san to death. You're doing the same thing as Kaori-san and Chimi, then? That's all I have to say. What the hell? I couldn't say too much. My goal here was to actually just make him feel like something was up. That was why I had to end this feast with words that stayed in his mind. Well, I probably had to prepare for a punch or two. Oh, so maybe he's just trying to get a one-on-one meeting with him? It was an awkward moment, but I stayed silent. Like, that's actually a decent play. If you're trying to get a one-on-one meeting with someone, and you're throwing away your vote, throw away your vote at them, so they come up to you and are like, what the hell is your problem? And then you can actually explain yourself. Yeah. Well, by now, you should know that I'm voting for Yamawaki-san. It's decided. Sag. Maybe they'll hit us with one last grandma jump scare. If they'll believe you after you vote for them. Right, yeah, that's a problem, right? With those words, everyone stood up like it was rehearsed. Hisako-san and I were behind them in that regard. Then I saw the villagers' faces, which seemed different than before. Uematsu, get the rope. Hi. Takumi, pour some sake for Tai. Ba-chan. You were a naughty child ever since you were small. You never changed your mind about what you thought was right, but you were always gentle. And that hasn't changed. But you still grew up to be so big. Yoshiko-san must be so proud. I always thought of you as my real grandma. You were like real family to me. Don't cry. We'll meet again at the home of... Oops. What did I hit? The home of Shinai-sama. The old lady smiled and drank her sake. Then the rope was placed over her shoulders. I shall tighten it now. Do it. Rikako-san twined the rope around her twice and tied her hands behind her back. It was simple, but necessary. The process continued. A dimly lit hall was filled with dark emotions. Lament, chagrin, and gloom was heard on every sob, whimper, and movement. I felt like I was watching a family grieve for an elder or dying a peaceful death. Sag. Hisako Mamiya silently mouthed the words, "They're insane." I shared that sentiment wholeheartedly. And now we're singing. We passed through the mist and walked toward the graveyard. 1 snake, 2 monkey, 3 crow, 4 spider. You already know. Everyone was singing prayer to Shinai. Shinai-san's guardians are... I couldn't tell who started it or when they did so. Death of the damned Yomibito is mandate. The sobbing mixed with singing made it seem like an old funeral, but this was actually an execution. Painfully slowly, we walked through the path leading to the cliffs up to the Saranaga. I was already used to this thanks to all the cleanups. 7. The corrupt Yomibito rise to oppose the mountain. Before I knew it, even Mamiya-san and I joined the singing, creating a perfect unity in the group. Eventually, we reached our destination. It was downhill, beyond the trees, wet with dew, in a grass field covered in stones, marking the lives of those who used to live here. Strangely enough, the aged pine tree right at the end could be seen easily, despite the mist. As we stopped, so did the song and emotion. Got any last words, Taiba? No birds could be heard, and the wind was still. Perfect silence surrounded us as Kanzo-san did the job. I'm not thinking of coming back from the dead, but I don't know what kind of place I will find there. Honestly, I'm afraid. But this is for the sake of Yasumizu. I curse you, woman. Her voice was crystal clear, and now bore an unmistakable hatred. Mamiya-san remained silent, and everyone, aware of what was about to happen, prepared for the final process. Oh, also worth noting, we checked out Takumi when we did the... that's probably not the case, but we checked out Takumi when we did our snake power. So we know he's human, so we know we can trust him to say we're the snake, if that's what that meeting is going to be about. But because it didn't have the key on it, I don't think that's what's happening. The snake is the seer. The snake, once a night, can figure out if somebody is a human or a wolf. You could say that this is the heart of our religion, the graveyard of the hanging pine. I knew this was important, an important place for them, but I didn't know anything else. However, I did feel like they were acting with absolute precision, like they were meticulously rehearsed actors in a staged play. 2 of them coiled a rope around the pine's large trunk leaning out toward the cliff, while another one skillfully made a noose out of the other end. Kanzo-san took it in his hand and looped it over Tai-san's neck. Rise not. Rise not. It was the first time I'd heard those words. They were probably a final goodbye and a signal. And with that, the old lady's small frame went over the cliff. A second later, the rope went taut. At the same time, an inhuman sound came from the mist down below. Yeah, it's because this one didn't require a key, which, I guess they didn't want to force your death here, but this one didn't require a key, so technically the dialogue option is the same. Like, it doesn't know you loop the other way yet. Oh. Oh. Takumi. Oh. Poor Takumi. After repeating the song a dozen times or so, Kanzo-san walked up to the pine and cut the rope with a sickle he had in hand. Was there a sound of her falling down? There was. I couldn't hear it. Not saying a word, we all returned to the plaza. Everyone seemed to feel like we'd done something that could not be undone. We had passed a point of no return. No, that probably wasn't right. The point of no return was passed a long time ago. This just made us realize it, and even then, I didn't know if anyone besides Mamiya-san and I felt it. The villagers might have begun feuding like this the very moment the mists came. I thought about that long and hard. It made me feel something like remorse or powerlessness, both of which were unproductive emotions that really dulled your thoughts. The locals, however, seemed to feel differently. They did look like they were in a state of emotional numbness, but it seemed to be a result of something other than shock or a sense of loss. It was something more unnatural. They seemed like empty husks. I had a thought once that the real problem wasn't the monster, but this state of being. We return to the dining hall. Oribe. Hi. Make food. Oh, he's sad. Poor Kanzo. Alright, Red. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you later. Have a good night. Stay in the dining hall. I'll look around. You stay too. There ain't nothing dangerous in the mist. Besides us, at least. I'll be back for food. I'm going back home. Takumi. I won't die. Jeez. Come on, I've walked that path 1,000 times. If anything kills me, it'll be a bullet from your gun. But that is his parting shot. Takumi-san left. The rest of you stay here. And so Kanzo-san left too. He had no intention of playing along. He planned to resolve the feast with his own 2 hands to the very end. He was even capable of convincing Tai-san to accept her death. As long as he was alive, he would continue to command the humans as a strong but harsh leader. However, I felt like I'd seen his tough facade crack, only just a little, just now. Probably for the first time ever. Though Takumi-san was considered to be a local young leader figure, Kanzo-san seemed to consistently underestimate him, thinking him too soft. The softness in this case was simply common sense and consideration, though. Useful things in other situations. Looking at it from that angle, that supposed softness now seemed conspicuously absent. Tai-san's death had changed something in Takumi-san, and it wasn't yet clear if it was for the better. Overcome by awkwardness, we barely talked, simply watching time go by. I had brief chats with Kaori-san and helped her prepare the food. She seemed to be composed and took it very seriously. No meat today? We don't practice asceticism here. Let's eat normally. Every line spoken felt like a secret chat between partners in crime. It felt really weird. I knew full well we'd done something inexcusable. Despite that, I wasn't feeling the normal amount of shock or guilt. Perhaps because the moment Tai Yamawaki-san died was neatly cordoned off from everyday life? The song, the farewell, all of it might have been ways of separating the events from their daily lives. It seemed like know-how that they had to slightly lower the emotional burden from killing one of them. Did they think that up naturally, or did they remember it, or... Done? Ah, yes. Just now. Soon enough, we gave out a now familiar veggie and shishinari soup along with some rice. I'm gonna puke. This stuff sounds so gross. Oddly enough, everyone still had their appetite. However, since Takumi-san hadn't returned, we ended up eating with one person unaccounted for. And not just him, there's one more empty seat that had been occupied this very morning. Shit. What the hell was this? Hey, Hatsan. I feel like it had been so long since someone had called out to me. The others likely felt the same, which was probably why it attracted some attention. What's up? Taiba's gone. What was he getting at? Was he trying to get me to talk about it? Yeah, unfortunate. Is it? You could have protected her, right? Ooh, yeah, we could have tied the vote. Stop it, Mochi. From Haruaki's perspective, Taiba-chan was just as shady as Mamiya-san. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to vote for either of them. The people who voted before me were the ones who left me without any other options. Not us, though. I don't see why you chose to vote for me, though. It's fine. You're a good dumping ground for votes, and it's not like everyone suspects you yet. You're saying that as if you do. Yeah. Right now, I think that the journalist, you, and Hassan are the wolves. I wasn't the only one who jumped. Everyone looked at Mochi and I. Oh man. I know I messed up a bit here and there, but I didn't think that even you didn't trust me. Sorry, it's not about trust. I don't really care about that. I just wanted to know how the wolves were feeling. They can stay up late and do anything. They can even kill. It sounds great. I'm actually jealous. Mochi, leave it at that. We don't have proof that Mamiya-san is a fake. Yasunaga-kun stopped him because he noticed how strange Mamiya-san's expression was. However, he said that while looking at Kanzo-san, making it very clear who was actually in charge here. Chikamochi, come here. I don't wanna. Come here. Mochi tried to ignore him, but the pressure got to him. He slowly got up and walked over to Kanzo-san. Oh! The old man just slapped the cross-dressing boy. His light body collapsed on the table, and the one to soften his fall was... Ow! Oh, what about you, old man? Are your bones alright? Those two sure got along well. Violence isn't the answer. A little late for that, don't you think? You senile fool. We don't talk about the feast outside the feast. Everyone knows that. Stop it, Chikamochi. Alright, fine. Journal lady, Hassan, I'm sorry. We didn't have any ill intent, did he? He was probably just as eccentric as he was because he was exceptionally observant, and he had poor social intelligence. I don't mind. I can't blame you, really. But I had no idea how to help out Mamiya-san. She was so tense she could burst at any moment. Mamiya-sama, I do not believe that both of you must be hanged. Uematsu? I apologize, but there is something important that I forgot to ask. Please allow me to talk about the feast for a moment. Mamiya-sama, who do you intend to use your guardian's power on tonight? That's up to me, isn't it? No. Shinai-sama gave the guardians for the human's sake. You must use it for all of us. Alright, well, who should I investigate then? Yasunaga Uribe-sama. What do you think? Huh? That's the worst idea. That is literally a wasted... That is literally a wasted... Unless this is bait. Oh, okay. Me? Personally, I'd like to clear up all suspicions regarding Nosato-san. Which, as would I. I would really appreciate that. I would like to know Nosato as well. He had a high chance of being a candidate for the hanging and the snake's investigation. So Yasunaga-kun probably wanted him to stop being a safe retreat for votes. However, Mamiya-san was a fake. I was tempted to reveal that, but I had to restrain myself. Alright, well, I'll look into Nosato-san then. I'd also like the spider to protect me, though. No, Spider protects Nosato here. Yeah, Mochi just trolling. Spider is Mako, I think. I think deadass Spider is Mako, and you have Mako protect Nosato-san here. Because the wolves, this is smart. This is actually good play. Why? Yep. Yep. Absolutely. If we decided that here, the wolves would simply go for someone else. The spider already saved one person. That alone is impressive enough to leave to them again. I see. That's true. Uematsu-san, is that it? Yes. Sorry for being so forward, Makishima-sama. I'm going out again. Yasu is definitely human. Wolf Yasu acted a lot dumber. We know Yasu is human. He's a monkey. There's literally no feasible reason that Yasu and Kanzo would fake being monkey or could fake being monkey at this point. I don't think it's even possible to fake it. Kanzo Ji-chan being here for too long is uncomfortable. Can we walk around? Better than dying. He did have a point. The positions and roles were completely different from last time, but I felt like people would die if we split up. Watch out for Takumi. He uttered those curt words and walked out. Yeah, he's taken Taiba-chan's death pretty hard. So the big guy's a softie. Yoshitsugu, come here. What do you want? We'll be upstairs, Mom. Private meeting, huh? Wait, I will go with you. Huh? Fusaishi-san, can you take care of things here? Of course. The Oribes went upstairs, leaving the dining hall with just 2 of the students, Kyonosuke, the old wolf guy, Chiemi, Rikako, Meiko, and Mamiya. Myself included, that was 9 people. A few numbers away from the total. What a pain. I share that sentiment. How long will this go on? The mood softened up, and everyone finally began speaking their mind. Hassan, are you a wolf? No. You got a guardian? Who knows? Wait, we're not supposed to talk about it, right? Gonzo here? Yeah, it's just old people talk. If you ask me, this is something we should be discussing all day long. Agreed. Mochi, do you know something? Is he good at deduction or something? If he's the crow, it's over. If Mochi's the crow, it's a wash. Mochi, what do I do? He just talked to me. Get used to him already. He won't bite. It's nothing big. Mochi just, has good intuition. What a shame. My crazy brain computer doesn't work right in this mist. Come to think of it, you talked big yesterday, but you don't have much to show for it today, did you? I still suspect you. Okay. I won't blame you for that, but could you at least be more friendly with me? It feels like there's a wall of ice between us. I mean, you seem like a playboy. So that was the reason, huh? That reminded me of when we first met last time. She assumed I was Chiemi's boyfriend. Was it even possible for her to have a better opinion of me? Getting along with her wouldn't hurt. I'll clear up that misunderstanding later. Honestly, though, I wanted to say more. You're lying. You just let Ni-chan talk, and then Oji-chan made it all the way to the waist. Is that how it seems to you? If you ask me, it felt like Yasunaga Oribe-san was covering for Haruaki-sama. Whoa, she was treading into dangerous territory with that. I felt that way too. Yasun really trusts Hassan for some reason. I wonder why. They're both the argumentative, logical types. Crap, we went straight no at wolfing to refusing to answer Guardian. I think that's fine. They're both the argumentative, logical types. You don't get many of those here, so they're probably happy to find a kindred spirit. Haruaki-sama, you prefer to talk to those who you can argue with? As long as the talk is good, I don't really care. Do you dislike women who are bad with words? Don't worry. I'm sure I can encourage you to use your... Whoa! Don't worry. I'm sure I can encourage you to use your mouth. Use my mouth. Now there's no grandma to jump scare us. Haruaki-san, you ran away because of trouble with women, right? Ha ha ha, whatever do you mean? Ha 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 ha. Rikako-san, he's probably a real bad boy. You shouldn't humor him any further. Bad boy? Oh. Run away and leave him to me, the super bad Chiemi girl. I might have a fondness for bad boys. Oh, so that's how it is, huh? Mochi, is this what a fight between adult women looks like? I'm pretty sure adult women fight by slapping each other with their titties. Well, now you've got my attention. There's no tie to jump scare us. We can talk about whatever we want. You disgust me. I was certainly one way to change the subject, though, I do understand why you'd want to lighten the mood around here. Well, maybe it's fine. I still think Fusashi sounds a bit shady, though. Honestly, being seen that way made things easier for me. Yasunaga-kun was probably relatively certain I had a guardian. He might have realized that I was planning on revealing it today and presenting them with the info that I got. True. Then I changed my plans after seeing what had happened today. That probably made it even more certain about that. However, my actions only made sense if you assumed I had a guardian. Otherwise, I was just a scared fool saying whatever I could to survive. That was why Yasunaga-kun took charge of the conversation before I said something important, drawing attention to Kanzo-san's ire himself. Because of that, Haruchan and Chiemi still thought I was irrelevant, which meant that Yasunaga-kun's plan worked. I could only hope I didn't have any more mochis around here. I didn't want anyone else putting me under a magnifying glass like that. Rikako-san was only elevating me because she'd said yesterday she believed I was brought here to save them. It could have been some other feeling she had for me, but whatever the case, she stepped up any negative remarks about me. In a way, my current situation was pretty well balanced. Hey, old man, you a wolf or you got a guardian? I see. That was communication. Nope. That's what makes him fun. Haha, I'm fun. You're talking a lot today, old man. Hey, say something perverted. Pervy. Oh my god, pervy, yeah. Where'd that come from? And cut it out. Don't act like you're not interested. Want to hear my true urban tales of lust? Elaborate. There, gotcha. Of course Rikako-san would be interested. Perv. Oh, what do you mean? You're treating me differently than Haru Makishima-sama. Hey, I'm just glad the mystical beauty is a normal girl on the inside. Though, I'm not about to lose to you on that front. Let's go. Care to try? Oh, it's happening. Adults are so dirty. Pervy. This is a living hell. I do think we're in hell, still. I'll say that every time the word hell comes up. You can always go back to the Nosato mansion. I'm not leaving this place at this time. That's an interesting one. Doesn't want to leave. Because you'll be shot by the old man? Or Muro. You think Takumi will go out of control over the shock of losing Tai? We did see that in the last loop too, right? We saw someone go crazy because someone died. Kaori went crazy. It's a definite possibility. I've known him for a long time, but I've never seen him look as cornered as he did today. Old man Makishima also said to watch out for him, didn't he? So that was what he meant, huh? It seemed possible. It was still daytime, but he wasn't here. What was he up to then? What's he cooking? And how would this affect the negotiations I was planning? Maybe I was close to my limit. Maybe I should go check on Muro-san. Huh? But it's dangerous to go alone. Kanzo-ji-chan will seriously shoot you. I believe Kanzo Makishima-san went to see him by himself. Ji-chan isn't that considerate. You always say that, but honestly, I think he loves you a lot, Haru. How? We barely even talked for the past half year before the feast began. He's just the silent type. That intrigued me too, but I had to focus my attention on Takumi-san. However, if I went and did something about that, I'd probably attract the attention of the wolves. This was difficult. What was I supposed to do here? By the way, Yasu's family sure is taking their time. I'll go listen in on them. Hey, wait, don't. But what if they're all the wolves? We can't let them meet in secret, right? Haru-chan was shocked for a moment, but she really didn't have to be. Yasunaga-kun is a monkey, so there's no way. Exactly. If Yasunaga Uribe turned out to be a fake, that would mean the old man was a fake as well. That'd be awful. True. All three of them simply couldn't have been the wolves, so there was no problem with their secret chat. However, eavesdropping isn't good, but neither is meeting in secret. Such things draw suspicion, just like they did now. Right. Mochi, Haru-chan, call them. Why us two? One's fine, right? I don't mind. Let's just go. Yeah, this wasn't a role that could be left to a single person. The secret chats would increase the likelihood of conspiracies and hidden pacts, perhaps resulting in lawless murders like last time. However, At the same time, there was a risk that someone, especially the wolves, could find out about such pacts without the parties knowing. The wolves left their houses at night to kill people, meaning they could have all the secret talks they wanted in the night mist. We humans could only have secret talks during the day, where we risked being heard by other inhabitants and by the wolves. Overall, the wolves had a way bigger advantage on the intelligence front. By just meeting up at night, they didn't have to have any chats during the day. In fact, they could just focus on listening. They could also agree on what roles they would take, which one would pretend to have a guardian, which one would side with the humans, which one would gather info. By eavesdropping on human secret chats, they could gain info without the humans even realizing someone was listening. That was why people couldn't be allowed to go off and listen on their own. It would imply that they had ulterior motives. Chemi had realized that just now, huh? She sure had some tact. Did that mean that she suspected Mochi, though? When Takumi said he was the snake, I had a bad feeling come over me. It felt like I could hear those wolves laughing. He certainly had sharp intuition. This reminded me that he just asked me a leading question, whether I was a wolf or had a guardian. Did he perhaps realize? Whether he was a human or a wolf, he might have known that I had a guardian. Had Chemi stopped him from going off on his own because she saw him as dangerous? Perhaps I'd use my snake powers to investigate him. I do think Mochi is a reasonable investigate here. Shit, this was complicated. Upon returning, the Oribes wore docile expressions. But they didn't have anything to say. They just returned to their seats, and that was that. It seems they came down at about the same time as the two students went to pick them up. This was the first time I'd seen him so serious. It made him look like his brother. Large eyes, a straight gaze. They probably had inherited those features from their late father, a Higuchi. I couldn't help but wonder what they'd talked about. Yasunaga-kun probably wanted to scold Yoshitsugu-kun, while Kari-san probably was concerned about how they were holding up. I did think it was important to have a strong will in this situation. An outburst of violence would be quickly silenced, and we couldn't afford to lose potential votes to that. The feast was built around the premise of killing people through logical deduction, and letting the foundation crumble was not an option. Otherwise, we'd quickly be overwhelmed by madness and blind, murderous rage. The only ones who'd benefit from that would be the wolves, who had the upper hand on information. It's quite uncomfortable here, so let me treat you. Something sweet, perhaps? She presented us with something, and I had no idea what. What is this? Anko? No. My bowl had something gray and paste-like in it. It was steaming, too. Porridge? Oh, it's taco. Everyone was overjoyed and began digging into their paste with their chopsticks. I had no reason not to do it as well. It looked like anko, and it was about as soft. I brought my face closer, and it actually had a good smell, like cubic rice crackers. The steam made it obvious, but it was pretty hot. Sweet, too. Above all else, though, it smelled good. It reminded me of barley or rice. Grain, basically. Tea. And it just happened to be sweet. It's hataiko, parched barley flour stirred in hot water. Yeah, watching the replay will probably be cool, huh? Is that what it's called outside? Well, it has several names depending on the region. It was really popular before the war, and you could still get it at some supermarkets. Yes, the locals have been making barley flour and eating it for a long time. That's what someone told me. Tai. No one commented on her correcting herself. I'd never heard of taco, though. Perhaps it's a mutation of hotaiko. Even in this situation, Mamiya-san was acting professionally. She's good. Mamiya-san's pretty strong. Though everyone lightened up and made room for some idle talk, no one brought about anything about the feast. No one was in the mood for it either. However, I was sure that just about everyone here had thought the same thing, that Hisako Mamiya was a wolf. She was a bad liar. From what I'd seen during the previous loop, Haru-chan was the same way. However, since she was a bit of an eccentric, no one would notice if she acted a bit unnatural. Mamiya-san, however, was clearly the cool and intelligent type, so the sudden change in her behavior immediately stood out. It didn't seem like it had anything to do with the burden she had as a snake or fear of the nightly attacks. If she had nothing to hide, she would calmly defend her actions and do something to help her survive the night. The first impression was a very important thing. She was lying. Everyone thought that, not just me. I wasn't able to get them to accept the badger's existence as fact, so they all have assumed that she's a wolf. On top of that, I was thinking about what she'd do and what I'd do with her tomorrow. Enjoying the simple sweetness, I continued to think all by myself. Time passed. We weren't too hungry, but we had dinner, rice gruel, at 5 p.m. Then we split up. Takumi-san had yet to return. Takumi-san's dead, bro. Go back already. I appreciate the help, but this is my job. Just go back. Crap. The bluff from yesterday was too strong. I had absolutely no intention of laying a hand on a widow with teenage sons, but Yoshitsugu-kun was acting like a real knight protecting his princess. Well, he's insisting, and you've been a great help so far, so why not go and rest early? I will do just that then. I hope you fall into a fucking field. Watch your language, Yoshitsugu. See you tomorrow. Yes, you too. Yeah, the Oribes want to talk more. See ya, huh? That made it seem like he didn't see me as a complete enemy. I had no idea what he was thinking. What had they talked about back there? I was a bit curious. I'd probably have to ask Yasunaga-kun to find out. As I walked to my hut through the dark mist, I ran into the students. Hassan, you're early today. Do what you have to do, and let's get back. We were waiting for you. I hope that's not a bother. What do you need? I couldn't sense anyone else hiding in the dense mist, but that didn't mean there wasn't someone there. Also, the only one of these three that I could trust was Yasukun. I had hoped he wasn't about to reveal something dangerous. I wanted to thank you. Thank? Yes. You stopped Yoshitsugu yesterday, didn't you? He told us. Haha, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Haha. Though, I can't say I approve of your methods. Oh, Monka W, dude. Huh? He even mentioned that? Yeah. Oh, can I go hit my head on a rock and die, please? It's fine, it's fine. He said it helped him cool off. What's this about? This sounds lewd. Anyway, if he knew that much, I didn't have to hide it. Mochi held Haru-chan back while Yasunaga-kun and I continued talking. Sorry about that. I need something to provoke him, and it wasn't the only idea that... Oh, wrong voice, sorry. It's the only idea that came to mind. I see. He's single-minded, which is good, but he doesn't seem to have a clear position, or on the outside or on the feast. Yes, that's why I wanted to tell him to actually use his head, but, Mom... Well, what did she say? Just something ominous and boring, but that also helped Yoshitsugu cool off. It didn't seem like he'd get any more detailed. I see, so that's what you three were talking about. Yes, please don't suspect us. Yeah, Nichan would never do anything bad. You're way shadier than him. Well, Hassan probably thinks that Haru-chan and I are both shady. Anyways, that's it. Sorry for being so helpless. What grim face. It was the same as the one he made when his efforts to prevent Tai-san and Mamiya-san from being lynch targets turned out to be vain. Don't be. I'm the adult here, so that's my line. To be honest, at this point, only Haru-chan's grandpa has any real power. Don't blame yourselves. Everyone's powerless before the mist. You said something normal for once. I'm holding myself back because Yasun and Haru-chan are here. That made sense. We'll be going now. Be careful, Fusaishi-san. We'll bury you if you're dead tomorrow. That's pretty morbid. Smile. I sent them off with a simple goodbye. But one of them refused to leave. Haru-chan? What did you mean by, I already tried it? What? I wonder what she meant by that, but then I already tried it. That was what he told to Yoshi when he said he would fight the wolf. Did she mean the thing I told Yoshitsugu last night? What are you talking about? Yasunaga-kun didn't know. Did Yoshitsugu not mention that part? Oh, were you listening in on us yesterday? That would explain everything. Rikako-san had done exactly that, and it wouldn't surprise me if Haru-chan had done the same. The three of us went back early, though. Did you go ask him something later? They had no idea what she was talking about. Mochi's words supported my assumption. There was no response. Oh, she's got the death eyes, huh? This wasn't that big of a deal, but the silence made it feel needlessly tense. Haru-chan? Did my voice contain a little too much irritation? I regretted speaking up. But then, all of that was blown away. Huh? I see. So you rose. You have tried again several times, have you not? For a moment, it felt like her mouth displayed a frighteningly maniacal grin, y'all, or a monka's steer. Rise not. Wait, rise not? Rise not. So if you die via the feet, don't loop. Dude, this is happening to other people. Wait, this is... Oh my god, hold on. So if you die to the wolves, you rise. But if you die to the hanging, you rise not. We've never been hanged, right? We've never died by a hanging. They're saying, don't let me loop. Yeah. Whoa. The next moment, her expression returned to the usual sullen face. Huh? What's wrong? Let's go back, you two. Oh, okay. It's the same voice as the bandaged figure that broke up the talk about God with Chiemi. Did that talk? I remember that bandaged figure. I don't remember if it talked or not. It did. Okay. Oh, shit. Hold on. What was that? Hassan! The one who stopped me from going out with the other two was Mochi. This is our secret, and no one else's. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with the feast. Ignore it and go to sleep. What are you talking about? Haru-chan's weird state now? Yes. She also went all weird in the middle of the feast, didn't she? Yeah, that happened when Rikako-san said the word God. You shall go no further. Bye, Hassan. Do your best tonight. He also left with a bombshell. Do your best tonight. Could only mean he knew I had a guardian. Who was I supposed to trust here? Or rather, who was sane here? How complicated and mysterious. Are you talking about yourself? Huh? Oh, how mean. That was my line. I almost screamed when she popped out. Yeah, same. What's up with you? I remembered what happened yesterday, which had me worried. It would not be good if you found shelter too late. Also, it appears that Haru Makishima has not healed yet. Right? Yes, everyone's just chilling here. Healed? Yes, when Haru Makishima lost her parents, she was left with a mental illness. Some went as far as to say she was possessed by the Okami-san. Possessed by a wolf? I've heard of possession by fox. Go figure. But that's new to me. Doesn't seem unlikely, though. Okami-sama do not possess humans. Is that how it is? I'm not sure I understand now. So how do I put this? It is something that would be troublesome if it could happen easily. The Okami-sama and the other guardians are god-like entities. Even the Yomotsu Okami-sama rank highly on that front. To summon a god of that caliber, you must prepare an appropriate ritual. Possession by wolf is not something that can happen so easily. That was a decent explanation. I can understand that it would be weird for famous gods to just possess someone. So, was this the work of a fox or maybe a tanuki? We serve Great Lord Shinai, so we should be warded from those kinds of creatures. But didn't the wolves get betrayed and killed by the other guardians? Maybe that left an opening. That is something that, unfortunately, we still do not know. What do you mean? Yasumizu is actually the only place where it is said that the Okami-sama are dead. In Kami Fujiyoshi, head families, it is even said that the Yasumizu inhabitants, who are the Yomibito... Wait, is that true? Yes. Could you keep a secret from the villagers? Well, what would happen if I told them? They would be quite upset, surely. Yeah, of course they would. It wouldn't make sense for them to become murderers just because they heard something like that. A long time ago, when I was still a girl, Kami Fujiyoshi's people got drunk and revealed the truth behind the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Yeah, Tai-san said it herself last time. Just knowing the real story wasn't enough, though. That knowledge alone didn't motivate the wolves and the badger to kill. Back then, Chieme was probably just dealing with her own problems. I'd badly misunderstood her situation. It really did seem like the wolves had a change of heart due to more than simply words. This was good. I can now see a bit more of the overall picture. Haruaki-sama. Haruaki-sama? Oh, sorry. What is it? You're making a scary face. Did I say something bad? No, sorry. You were talking about Haru-chan, right? So, what's up with her? Nosato's doctor said that she has a mental illness. However, in Kami Fujiyoshi, as well as in here, people never stopped whispering that she could be possessed by the wolf. And that's why the Uematsu came to banish the corruption. And then she became better. Did you pray or chant, or what did you do? Well, something like that. That made sense. The four families ruled through the local faith, so cracks in the belief were serious trouble for them. I didn't quite relate to that idea that some beastly possessions couldn't happen, but since they'd brought in the Uematsu to deal with it, could only mean they'd wanted to handle it from a religious standpoint. In a way, that was an admission that Haru-chan was an exception to their faith. Family heads probably wanted to treat it as if the problem had nothing to do with religion, but unfortunately that hadn't worked out. Well, if they didn't allow healing her with a change of environment, this didn't seem all that unusual. There were stories of beastly possession all over Japan, but Mia-san probably had tons of them in her head. It did freak me out a bit that it had happened here of all places, but it felt like I had to consider it separate from all the other strange phenomena here. By the way, did you ever hear anything about possession by a Yomibito? That would be strange as well. Yomibito are fearful creatures. They have no human intelligence or virtue. Haru Makishima-san did not seem to fit that description. That reminded me that last time, Rikako-san had been declared a Yomibito when something went wrong with her mind. Haru-chan wasn't like that at all. And since no one can think of an explanation, they began thinking that she was possessed by the Yomotsu Okami, right? Hi. Kami Fujiyoshi had many people who knew of Yasumizu's legend. They said that, corrupted or not, a god was a god, and that since she was in such an eerie place, she might have been possessed by the wolf. And the prayers healed her then. Yes, in the end it was considered to be a merely minor trouble caused by the corruption. I didn't get it completely, but it didn't seem like a big deal and ended a while ago. But now it had come back. This is our secret. No one else's. This is our secret. No one else's. Perhaps the children know something of Haru Makishima's illness. I doubt they'd say anything, though. If Mochi wasn't lying, then this had nothing to do with the feast, and that was what I thought too. This was Fujiyoshi's problem, completely independent of the feast. However... I see, so you rose. You have tried again several times, have you not? What did she mean by rose? I think I heard something like that during today's feast, too. To rise is to come back, especially from the land of the Yomi. Rose is its past tense. Then rise not means don't come back from the dead. Rikako-san nodded. Well, that made sense. Yasumizu considered returning from the Yomi to be ominous, so it served as a farewell to the dead here. So you rose. I see. So you came back from the dead and have tried several times, have you not? How? How could she know that? I was being subjected to some weird death loop, and I was the only one aware of it. This is the one thing that I couldn't justify in a purely logical manner. Had she noticed it when she was supposedly possessed? Was I just overthinking it? Maybe she'd been referring to something else, or maybe this was just random nonsense. Was it possible that something supernatural really had possessed her, and it could tell what situation I was in? I didn't want to believe that, but I would keep it in my mind as a possibility. However, not even Rikako-san seemed to know anything about this supernatural entity. Was it completely unrelated to my situation, the feast, and all of Fujiyoshi's legends? I couldn't afford to overthink things here. However, for all I knew, Haru-chan could be the key to unraveling this strange situation. I would have to keep that in mind. I'd gotten lost in thought again, but this time Rikako-san just silently waited until I was done. She too was wearing a profound expression, hanging her head, and lost in thought. Haruaki really doesn't like the idea that supernatural exists, for the guy that got killed by a werewolf, and came back from the dead, mind you. We are ignorant mountain people. Wisdom was buried, and now we are all dancing a pathetic dance. Anyone would be like that in this situation. Haruaki-sama, I see you will not go any further. What do you mean? Like I said before, I don't have any special powers. What about special circumstances? Or a special past? No. It does not matter. I merely want to believe that you are special, Haruaki-sama. I do not know what started it, but after seeing you, through the shadow of the leaves that day, I have been thinking of nothing else but you. It could be because you helped me when I hurt my head on the Akiba, or because you called me by my name. I looked for reasons, but I am still not certain. Perhaps none exist. I cherish you, Haruaki Fusaishi-san. So I made her say it. Rikako-san. It is fine. No need to say it. I am not that type of person who could hope for something like that. I only said it because I have something else to say. Which is what? Please, leave this place. I can't, can I? I knew that well. I'd believed that I could escape last time and ended up failing to protect anyone. I understood why everyone here is so afraid of this mist. It's because you can't escape it, and it will remain until the feast comes to a close. That's why... Please, don't say it. I am not doing this because I want your gratitude or comfort. I'm doing this as the descendant of the bedroom woman servants who must see their guests on their way back, and as a woman who treasures you. I truly want you to survive this. You have no reason to die in a place like this, and I'm sure you have a place that you also must return to. Do not worry. Even if you have lied or become indebted, it is nothing compared to the sacrifice the mountain asks of you. So, I will help you escape. What? That actually sounded like she knew of a way to escape this place. I wanted to ask about it. I had to, even. Despite feeling that way, though. Please don't tell me. Oh, this song's really good. I refused, and I knew full well what that meant for her. Even though you are as good as dead? Am I? No, but it will surely happen. if you continue this way. Rikako-san, do you have any other dark secrets? Huh? She stared at me in bewilderment. You always knew you could help someone run away if you discarded yourself and your feelings. However, you didn't know if you could go through with it. Is that right? You didn't know if you should throw away your duty as an Uematsu and save someone, or stay in Yasumizu until the end and keep being an Uematsu. After a lot of inner conflict, you decided that letting me escape was the right thing to do, and that you wanted it too. You wanted to make me believe that it doesn't matter what happened to you, as long as I was alright. I don't like that. Man, this is fun. I'm gonna play this by my own rules. It was fun, and she was just so lovable. I'm sorry. That's why I want to change the rules. How about this? If you cut it out with the unpleasant secrets, the man called Haruaki Fusaishi will trust Rikaku Uematsu. Seriously lovable. I will survive for Rikaku Uematsu's sake. Will you survive for Haruaki Fusaishi's sake? And if we both survive, you can ask Haruaki Fusaishi for whatever you want, and I can do the same for you. Willing to gamble on that? Sounds way more fun, don't you think? Aww, Rikako-san was trembling. Her face was all red, her eyes were full of tears, and her shoulders were shivering. This might be a foolish misunderstanding of mine, but do you mean that, I wasn't rude enough to force her to say it. Instead of waiting, I just embraced her. Aww. I'm not gonna abandon you. I'm not gonna run away. That didn't mean letting go of such a tasty-looking woman. That would be one hell of a waste. So please, survive. Well, are you taking my bet? I felt her heated breath on me. It seemed to penetrate my shirt. No, you must flee. Oh. You are adorable. So much that I wanted to take her right then and there. But the rest will have to wait for later. Now? I'll have you ask that again when the bet's run. I bet it meant to say sweet. Not tasty. I bet it meant to say sweet. That alright with you, Rikako-san? I tightened my embrace a little. Eventually, she nodded, sealing the wager. Good night. You too. Good night. It's a battle, I shouted. And she responded with, "Oh!" The flirting continued for a bit, and then we parted ways. All right, with that out of the way, I had to make sure she kept up her side of things this time. Yeah, that's true. Now, who to choose today? The situation was completely unlike yesterday. This is a jam. The analysis music. Takumi was in an even more critical position than before. It reminded me of Kaori-san's situation from last time. If he went out of control, the only one who could stop him was probably Kanzo-san. But even then, someone would die. Kinosuke was, as Mochi pointed out in the feast, a convenient dumping ground for votes. Knowing Kanzo-san's influence, Mamiya-san would definitely become a candidate for hanging. In fact, it was more or less obvious that she was an enemy by now. I feel like the read here is Mochi. I feel like you ping Mochi. On the other hand, we had people in important positions in completely different ways than yesterday. Mochi had good intuition and used it on me a lot. And Haru-chan, she had little to do with the feast, but she might have had a hint or two regarding my looping phenomenon. Investigating her would be completely personal, but I'd already let Tai-san die because of my selfishness, so that wouldn't be too special. It was pretty messed up, clearly, but so was a situation where a selfless act could prove fatal. Besides them, Kaori-san, the old wolf guy, and Yoshitsugu-kun were total blanks. Whether Kaori-san was a wolf or human, she'd be in real danger if her sons died. She wasn't a good target for the snake. Yoshitsugu-kun had a tendency to go wild, but he had little influence over the feast as well. The old wolf guy was the same as always, just a random vote. I wouldn't pick them this time. Come to think of it, could I investigate the same person I checked yesterday? It'd probably be pointless, but I was curious. Who did I have to go for? You can investigate Takumi again? That seems dumb. Unless the only thing you would want to perhaps investigate Takumi for is if, like, he became the Badger, which does not seem to be the case. But I don't even think it would tell you that. So I'm investigating Mochi. I want to know if Mochi is clean. I wrote down the name, left it near my pillow, and went to sleep. All right, chat. We're going to see. We're going to wake up. We're going to see. Oh, yeah. You know what? That's probably it. If I didn't investigate Takumi, I could have probably done it now. Yeah. Or you click that and they're like, no, this is dumb. So key 13, Truth of the Genius. You can view it on the keys list. Let me view it on the keys list really quick. See, because these say things. After obtaining the power of the snake, he is a human. Okay. Called it! I called it, baby. I knew Mochi was a wolf. After obtaining the power of the snake in the feast, I investigated Chikamochi. He is a wolf. An unpleasant revelation, but I should be able to corner him with this. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Yep, he's a wolf. So we're going to see who died. And then pause. It is rough to have him as a wolf. But the way he's acting is very wolf-like. So I kind of thought it. I woke up to yet another day and got the info I wanted as the snake. You could say the wolves had let me live. Could I trust that Yasunaga-kun and Mochi were the only ones who suspected me? I could contribute to the human survival by hiding my identity as the snake and gathering information about the others. However, that had me worried. Why tie the vote day one then? That one makes sense. Tie the vote day one so you're not suspicious. And he's hammering on Nosato now. So Nosato is probably a human. If the other wolves were Chiemi and Yasu, we could protect them and lose nothing of value. True. He's an easy excuse to kill, and if the wolves played it well, they wouldn't throw away any sus. Hard to say. But everyone believed the snake who'd survive by hiding his identity and revealing himself later in the game. I was particularly worried about Kanzo-san. He hadn't said anything completely wrong so far, but there was a tendency for anyone he cast suspicion on to be dodged by the others. That seemed intentional on his part, but it seemed like a mistake to me. Yasunaga-kun's attempts at resistance had gone well so far. He didn't have many cards to play yet. I think Mochi making a logical choice would be a big red flag for those who knew him. Maybe he's got to play dumb. Perhaps he believed that I could be one of those cards. Would I be able to act today? Weighing my options, I opened the door and saw Takumi-san. Ow. My surprised gasp quickly became a cry of pain. Knocked backwards, I was thrown back into the hut. Sitting on the floor, I looked up at him. He wasn't saying a thing. His expression was stern, and his eyes seemed to be boiling with hatred. In his left hand, he held a hoe. Even that seemed like a lethal weapon when held by a man with such a threatening visage. He was out of control, and I was clearly in danger. He still wasn't saying anything, not because of hesitation, but because he was waiting for my reaction. He would decide what to do based on what I did. Why are you here? Still on the floor, I asked him that. 2 died today. His response wasn't an answer to my question, but it was an important thing nonetheless. We had a death that broke the rule of 1 per day, 1 per night. Something commonplace during the previous loop. It had happened again. Who? It was more or less certain that one of them was Yoshitsugu Uribe. The boy went wild during the first night last time, and he tried the same this time. So I assumed that on another night, all he needed was another night to gather the resolve to go wolf hunting. Instead of answering, though, Takumi just took a step forward and closed the door behind him. He crouched down and looked at me in the eyes, but even from that position, he loomed over me. You said you voted for me to protect me yesterday. His voice was quiet, but I hear barely concealed rage behind it. Explain to me that in a way that I can understand. He then rested his right hand on the hoe. I couldn't read his true intentions. However, he was definitely in charge here, and a wrong answer would be punished harshly. This would be a tough one. I knew this would happen. I had to consider what was on his mind. He was probably planning to beat me up no matter how I responded. However, he did seem to leave some space for consideration, in case I gave him a good answer. I was now being tested. In this situation, he'd only understand if I provided him with something unexpected. If I could do that, then I could get him to agree with me. I'd already planned a response to this. It was both well-rounded and difficult to pull off. Yesterday, you were at a crossroads. You always believed that Yasumizu was unified and that no one here would kill anyone else. However, since you also valued their words, regardless of which generation they were from, you would be unable to commit to a course of action. I paused. Go on. He prodded me with the hoe. It didn't hurt, but it seemed antagonistic. However, he was still giving me a chance to talk. The elders, especially Tai Yamawaki-san, believed that the feast was a paranormal phenomenon with absolute power over all within, and that death was unavoidable. The legend she recounted to us was the reason Yasumizu became isolated, even here in Fujiyoshi, but it was also part of its identity. Make it more simple. Because of the story about killing the wolves in revenge, Yasumizu was given the unfair rule of being the defense against the Yomi. However, if you accepted life here and looked at it from an optimistic standpoint, the story was actually something to be proud of. That was why, despite saying that the stories were nonsense, you couldn't just brush them off. He seemed to understand me so far. On the other hand, you were better at using your head and thinking logically than most others here, so you were better at telling truth from lie. Yeah, he's just like cattle prodding him with the hoe. That's why you could relate to Chiemi-chan and Yasunaga-kun's more modern, logical ways of thinking. One had lived in the city, while the other had a keen mind. However, they themselves looked at the situation differently. While one calmly thought you couldn't just go off and murder, the other calmly thought that you can't avoid murder. You relate to them all, and that was why you wanted to take the middle road, but that would make it impossible for you to move forwards or backwards. As leader of Yasumizu and the mediator between the generations, you had to live up to their expectations. That was why you decided to assume who were the enemies of Yasumizu and prioritize attacking them. Fortunately for you, you have a few options. One of them was the mystery girl, Meiko. Another, Rikako. She was a village head and had a history of prejudice against us. And then there was me, the guy with the unknown background. After that, there was even Mamiya-san. Her identity was clear, but she was still an outsider. And lastly, Nosato-san, the village head who didn't seem to know anything because he was a second child. Of course, Yamawaki-san and Kaori Oribe-san, both of whom you were close to, were lowest on this list. You simply wanted to attack them based on this order because you wanted to avoid hurting those you were sympathetic to. I wouldn't call it unreasonable. It's natural to believe that the invaders are the enemies, rather than your neighbors, have become murderers. You were able to carry on this way of thinking until yesterday morning. No one died after all. However, that all crumbled at noon, when Yasumizu's people prioritized killing a local mainstay over an outsider. That's why you locked yourself up. You needed time to rethink your strategy. You considered how to rework your list of enemies and how to determine Tai Yamawaki-san's murderer. My words were cut off when he threw away the hoe and grabbed me by the collar. That's not true. Being shaken by his powerful fists made it hard to breathe, but it wasn't violence just yet. If it really isn't, you can argue with the words instead of threats. That's how you usually are, right? However, you decided to create enemies for yourself. That left you with only one option. Oppose the ones who killed Tai-san and avenge her by attacking them. No. Yes. Though she claimed to have a guardian, it was clear that Mamiya-san's attitude was weird. And yet, the one who hanged was Tai. That was why you thought the wolves must have banded up and voted for Tai. They had to be lurking among those who voted for her and to her death. I'm sure that's what you thought. And in turn, I thought this. At this point, the guilt from not saving her would get to you, and you would go berserk, without any regard to yourself. Perhaps the point of killing all the suspects, even if it meant getting corrupted. That's why I thought about what I had to do. If I voted for Yamawaki-san, I would be your enemy number one. Meiko was young, and while Rikako-san voted for Yamawaki-san, she accepted that. Me, though, I have nothing. If you went berserk and started killing, I would be the first one on your list. And that was why I couldn't vote for her. That's your reason? You had another choice, damn it. He was right. Though Tai-san had already had more votes, I saw the difference clearly, and you could use my vote to take it to the final vote. Even so, I couldn't vote for Mamiya. Why? You suspect her too now, don't you? What was I to do here? There was no guarantee that no one was listening. It was probably best to assume that someone was. Even if there wasn't, was it a good idea to tell him about my guardian? I didn't have much time to think about this. Takumi-san grabbed the hoe again. I can trust him because I investigated him. I trust him. This is kind of what we talked about earlier, right? Get a one-on-one meeting by voting for him and reveal your guardian. I trust him. I also think I die if I pick the top option. I'm not trying to die again. My decision wasn't due to trusting him personally. I did it solely because I knew he wasn't a wolf. I am the snake. Still, that wasn't enough info to allow me to reveal it to him. That's why I knew she was a fake right from the start. His grip relaxed for a second, but then why didn't you say it? If you'd reveal yourself, Bachan wouldn't have. It's because I understood that the wolves wanted to know who the snake was, even if it meant sacrificing one of their own. What do you mean? Yesterday, I said that to make an active effort to win, the wolves had to pretend to have guardians, but by that, I meant the wolves as a group. No matter how good of an actor you are, by acting like you have a guardian, you will be suspected and you will be put in danger. As a result, the faker would eventually die, but it would have bought some time for the remaining wolves. However, pretending to have a guardian when no one died was way too risky. The real one was still alive after all. That meant that the wolves couldn't have been planning only one thing, to draw out the real snake and kill them that very night. There was also the possibility that she was a badger, but that would have only made it more confusing in this case. I did nothing to stop Yamawaki-san's death. I will not deny that. However, I thought it was necessary for me to survive to get back at the wolves. I couldn't have voted for Mamiya-san either. It was to keep the wolves from realizing that I actually knew exactly what she was. Yeah, Joseph Joestar's a god. That's why, instead of using my vote on them, I used it to send you a message. It was a pretty bad plan, if I do say so myself, but I had no idea you would understand. But the result is clear. You came to me and gave me a chance to explain myself. Let's go just as planned. This chance was necessary for me. What do you mean? Can you let me go? He did as I asked. We can avenge Tai-san by fixing the majority and killing all the wolves. However, for that, I need you to trust me. I already trust you after all. I used the snake's power to confirm that you are human. Can you trust me? This is very one-sided. However, it was in line with his desires. He was conflicted between three things: sympathy for me as an outsider, the unfairness of the final vote, and my suggestion. This was especially hard for him because he wanted to be impartial. I can't decide that so suddenly. I understand. But I kind of believe that you are the snake. Are you sure that's a good idea? The feast's all about whether you believe or not, right? He had a point. Also, your assumption is right. Which one? I was thinking of killing you yesterday. Whoa. If I'd come here in the state I was in yesterday, I probably would have killed you dead before listening to anything you had to say. But I couldn't go through with it, probably because I wanted to know what you meant. So I'd work some word magic there, huh? But that has nothing to do with whether I trust you or not. And I'll think about your suggestion after you tell me more. That's good enough for me. By the way, you said 2 people died. Who? Oh, I was just thinking of telling you. Come with me, we gotta find the old man. Please tell me who died. The ones who died today were Haru and Hisako Mamiya. Mamiya died? Bro. Alright, folks. That's it. Okay. Haru and Mamiya died. I know why Haru died. Haru died to the wolves. 100%. Haru died to the wolves because of that whole thing that happened with that Chikamochi conversation. How did a wolf screw up the rules? Haru at least can be targeted. Mamiya's not a wolf. I don't think Mamiya's a wolf. I don't know. We'll have to see. She could have been the badger. She could have been the badger and just fucking swung on Haru or something. But either way, Let me save. Yes, wolves can also die if they break rules. As far as we know, it's a good point too, though. All right, let's go to the title. Let's go over here. Get some music just for the outro. All right, woohoo. Thank you so much for chilling, folks. This was a super fun one. Thank you to the new follows. Thank you to the folks who came by, newcomers. And thank you so much for coming by from the YouTube channel. I think that's so cool. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. If you're unfamiliar with my other content, I stream fighting games mostly, but we're doing this VN thing for fun. And I will definitely do another one after this, either Danganronpa or like something maybe a little shorter. Quick shout out to my schedule just for this. Tomorrow, no stream. Friday, I'll be entering a tournament at 8 p.m. And Saturday, I'll also be entering a tournament. I think after the BlazBlue tournament on Saturday is going to be more Raging Loop. I haven't set it in stone yet. But I think this Saturday will be and Raging Loop. So I'll enter the BlazBlue tournament, and then we'll switch over to Raging Loop. I think we'll do that on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to go back to playing fighting games. Probably Guilty Gear Strive. Probably, if it's not that, it's Under Night. So yeah, fun stuff, fun stuff. I'll try to show then if I can get my schedule to work. We'd love to have you. Thank you for the follow today as well. If you're not following me on all my socials, all my go live notifications are up on my Twitter. Usually the morning of, I'll have a reminder tweet, and then one more about an hour before. And then on my YouTube, I upload all my VODs just straight up 24 hours after. And I'm working to get like clips and stuff in there too for fun. Cool. All right, I think that is it for today. Called that Mochi was a wolf. My other candidates for wolves right now, it was going to be Nosato, but it's clearly not. I think Chiemi is a wolf. I hate to say it. I think Chiemi, Kaori, and Chikamochi are probably the wolves. If I had, just based on who's died and what we know about the other people, yeah, I'm thinking Chiemi. Chiemi's been kind of voting in line with Mochi too, so Mochi might have taken the lead. Mochi might have taken the lead from of the three wolves, and so I think those three are probably my guesses. Chiemi, Mochi, and then the third. Yeah, the third's up in the air. It could be a lot of people. It could be the old man. Actually, it could be the old man. Chiemi picking Mochi to go check out the Oribes. Yes, exactly. And then, wait, and then Haru went and checked out. Haru went and checked out the old people and died. So maybe that's why they picked Haru to kill. Because, like, Mochi can now say, yes, that's exactly right. Mochi can now say that those three said anything. Yeah, they picked Haru and Mochi to go check out the Oribes, and then killed Haru. So now Mochi can say those three said whatever the frick he wants and can manipulate. So even if Kaori is the third wolf, or Yoshitsugu is the third wolf, this can probably lead to getting Oribe killed, or Yasunaga killed. That's my prediction for next time. I think that's right. Okay, but it's late. I gotta render this and upload it to YouTube so I can schedule it for tomorrow. I got a big work event tomorrow. Be sure to check out the BlazBlue tournament that I'm unable to host on Impurus Club's channel. Also next week, I'm driving out of town on Thursday, so no stream. Actually, I'll be out of town a few days next week, so I'll upload that schedule as we get closer to this week. But I'm visiting up in Orlando with Zen and Shira, and we're gonna play some Magic cards, so that'll be fun. This was great. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you. I love doing this. So the fact that y'all support me so much is just a pleasure. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Y'all be good to one another, and I will see you next time.